In an ever-changing world, she was a rock of stability. Queen Elizabeth II famously said she had to be seen to be believed, and over 7 decades, with each passing milestone, thousands turned out to see Britain's oldest, longest reigning, and most beloved monarch.
She's probably the most famous woman in the world, probably the most admired woman in the world.
Her reign was as long as it was unexpected. Born Elizabeth Alexandra Mary on April 21st, 1926, she was still a child when her uncle, King Edward VIII, abdicated the throne. Suddenly, Elizabeth's father was king, and she was next in line. The young princess made this promise.
I declare before you all that my whole life, whether it be long or short, shall be devoted to your service.
That devotion to duty would be her hallmark. She was a teenager when Europe went to war and begged her father to let her help, first with her wartime radio broadcasts.
Thousands of you in this country have had to leave your homes and be separated from your fathers and mothers. My sister Margaret Rose and I feel so much for you.
And later, joining the services as a driver and mechanic. During the war, she had a chance encounter with her distant cousin, Philip. He was serving with the British Royal Navy in the Mediterranean and Pacific. They exchanged letters for 7 years.
As onto the famous balcony came the bride and bridegroom.
Their wedding in Westminster Abbey in 1947 was broadcast on BBC Radio to 200 million people around the world. The newlyweds never expected Princess Elizabeth was about to become queen. But when Elizabeth's father died from a heart attack, the 25-year-old was thrust onto the throne. Her coronation was one of the first televised public events. The young queen quickly showed a knack for protecting tradition while embracing change.
I very much hope that this new medium will make my Christmas message more personal and direct.
But the rise of technology also meant the world was shrinking. And so too was her empire. More than 25 countries declared independence during her reign. Others loosened their ties, like Canada, signing its constitution in 1982. Her reign spanned 12 Canadian prime ministers, from Pierre Trudeau's famous pirouette to Canada's second Prime Minister Trudeau.
Thank you, Mr. Prime Minister of Canada, for making me feel so old.
Her Majesty made 22 trips to Canada, more than any other country.
This country felt like a home, away from home.
Many credit the Queen's personal popularity for the monarchy's survival, but at times she struggled to hold the family together. 3 of her children divorced. And after the death of Princess Diana in 1997, the Queen faced criticism for failing to join the public outpouring of grief. In February 2020, Diana's youngest son, Prince Harry, and his wife Meghan retired from royal duties, dealing a blow to the palace. And a couple of months later, the royal family lost another member. Prince Philip died peacefully at Windsor Castle at the age of 99. At his funeral, a scaled-down affair in the COVID-19 pandemic, the Queen sat alone in the pew, a widow after 73 years of marriage. But within days of her husband's death, Her Majesty was back to work, holding virtual royal audiences due to the pandemic, and as always, keeping calm and carrying on. One of the last times the family appeared all together was to mark her Platinum Jubilee, celebrating 70 years on the throne. The 96-year-old was forced to miss some of the party due to health issues. And despite scandals surrounding some of her children, grandchildren, even the British Prime Minister, the Queen, as ever, seemed to rise above, making a surprise appearance on the balcony of Buckingham Palace. There by her side, 3 generations of future kings, all heirs to the British throne. Her legacy will endure, but for a woman who steered the royal family through 3/4 of a century, it's hard to imagine this place without her. Jeff Semple, Global News, London.